welcome back to another Strixhaven draft here on ZMTG. I'm Zake, and let's dive in. Oh my goodness, this is a good one to start with. The Ambitious Augmenter is a single green mana that increments, and when the creature dies, if it had one or more counters on it, you create a green and blue fractal creature token, and then put the creature's counters on that token. So it's basically 2 bodies for 1 mana. Pretty wild, as long as it doesn't die immediately, which does happen, but we're definitely going to take this card. Other great cards that are in this set. Oh, and I will say, by the way, increment is that whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana you spent is greater than this creature's power of toughness, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. So this is an immediate threat that our opponents are going to have to remove if they don't want to die to an extra body later on that continues to grow until it creates a very large body. There's a Follow the Lumerets here, which is a perfect spell for grabbing cards that we need in the same color. Our only other green option for cards is a Proctor's Gaze, which has been pretty good every time I've seen it played. So it's another option for when that comes back around. Infirmary Healer is going to be a great 2-drop and plays well in both the green-blue color pair because you get an X spell out of it, which green-blue seems to really like cares about the X cost spell, but also gives you gaining life, which is great in the black-green color pair in Witherbloom. If we do go black-green, there's the Sneering Shade Rider, or we could get a Run Behind in green-blue. There's also a Studious First Year, so we have at least 3 options here of cards that we could take with our color pair when this pack comes back around. And worst case, we could get a Mage Tower Referee or a Biblioplex Tomekeeper. I haven't run either of these cards very often, so I wouldn't mind seeing how they perform. Coming here into the 3rd pack, I think we take the Knockout Maneuver here for sure. It's one of the strongest removal spells in green in this set. We've got a Wild Hypothesis we could take when this comes back. There's also a Last Gasp if we end up going black-green. The Essence Knit Scholar has also really performed well every time I've seen it, though. And if we go black-green, there's chances that we could have our Ambitious Augmenter come back to the battlefield. So this rare gets to get us more than just an extra body. It could get us more than 1 extra body. So actually, let's take the removal, because I've been burned by not taking removal too often. The only tough part about this is that it's removal that you can't use without having a creature on the board, and people can use an instant to remove the creature you cast it on, and then it just fizzles and does nothing. But there's also Last Gasp, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get at least one of those other 2 cards when this comes back. Another decent removal spell in Barrage, but again requires a creature. Same with Chelonian Tackle, requires a creature to be a good removal spell. I think while we're just sitting in green here, I'm not going to worry about taking those, but Root Manipulation has outperformed every time that I've seen it played. And if we end up going back into that black-green color pair like I've kind of been considering here, we're going to want this card. So let's take that. That ends up being a really big bomb if you have a decent sized board. And even if you just have a bunch of pest tokens, they all become 3/3s with Menace. And they can even gain you 2 life if they're already a pest that gains you life on its own. So another Studious First Year we could take as well. Helps with mana fixing if needed. So good choices there for when that pack comes back to us. The Ulna Alley Shopkeep has kind of underperformed when I've played it. I think I'd rather have a Wild Hypothesis here. Locust Spray is also all right, but it's not the strongest. It's better in the Repartee deck, the Orzhov white-black color pair. And I don't think we're going to be running white-black with all the green that we have so far. So also a Fractal Mascot here, though. Been a really good 6/6 body that also has trample and also takes an enemy's creature out of the fight for 2 turns, or at least 1 turn. But I think Wild Hypothesis does us better here. It's got an option to make a really big creature, or it can just make you a little creature and Surveil 2. So take that there. Maybe the Fractal Mascot comes back if we decide to go to green-blue. Like I said, our goal here is to go black-green, and we got a great removal spell in Grapple with Death for our black-green color pair. So it's looking like that's what we're leaning towards. We need some good infusion payoffs for our life gain, but we have options for life gain at least. So we'll take the grapple with death here. The sneering Shade Rider does come back. It gains us some life, but it only does it once, but it is a flying body. And if we gained life, this Follow the Lumerith spell actually does give us a bonus here. So we'll take the infusion spell for now. And I think that'll do us better than just a single flyer that gains us life once. Pinging your opponent for 2 doesn't hurt, but not the biggest bomb or biggest payoff in this deck. Thornfist Striker has been really good every time I've seen it, and it's another infusion payoff, so we'll take that here. I would take the Mindful Biomancer, but we're not dying for 2 drops. We actually technically have 2 here plus a 1 drop, so in terms of creatures, these are all going to be sorcery and instant spells, so we'll put those over here for now. Just to keep track. We only have 2 creatures currently, but this technically counts as a creature, so I'll leave it here. There's a Masterful Flourish to keep our stuff alive, or we can just take another Follow the Lumeriths, which is just a great way to essentially draw a card or draw 2 cards for only 2 mana. So 1 in a green, we could get up to 2 cards if we've gained life, so we will take it. I don't mind having 2 of those. The best thing we can take here, I guess, is the Biblioplex. We probably won't play that card, but if we end up wanting to. The Last Gasp actually wheeled, which is wild. We will take another removal spell. Nothing in our color pair here. An Ally's Shopkeep, as we expected, because nobody really wants that guy. We get Jadzi, Steward of Fate, as our rare in pack 2. Do we want to swing into blue for her, though? I'm not really sure. She's a pretty great 2/4, decent stats for only 3 mana. And she draws us 2 cards, and then we discard 2 cards, and we can make X green and blue fractal tokens, creature tokens. So we could potentially go for kind of a green, blue, and black hybrid deck. And there's a lot of really good blue cards here too. So I think we might start to lean into that. Just in case, I'll take Jadzi here, and we'll see what happens. She ends up being pretty strong, it seems like. So there's a Pest Mascot, huge payoff for life gain. Also an Emil, though. An Emil will fit into both colors that we might run with if we go with the green blue potentially. That's a tough choice. Both of these cards have been performing pretty well that I've seen. This one can make multiple bodies though, and this one is just a single body that can get removed. So I think I'd lean more towards the Emil here. Silver Quill in this pack still. It's kind of wild. If we're trying to do some splashing, we could splash this card in. And then we could potentially copy our root manipulation and have +4/+4 on all our creatures if we just sacrifice one of them for it. But there's also a Teacher's Pest here, which might be a more important card in our current color setup that we have. Also a Studious First Year, which we didn't get one of on the first time around. I think we want the Teacher's Pest for our life gain payoffs. Could also get a land for the Emil, but we're going to take the Teacher's Pest here for now. Feed the Swarm is a pretty decent removal spell. There's a Paradox Gardens to get some blue-green extra land fixing. Another Infirmary Healer for gaining life. Problem with the Infirmary Healer is if it gets killed immediately, then it's no good for us. Chase Inspiration in blue. Not the greatest. I think we want the sorcery speed removal here. And being able to gain a lot of life means that losing some life for the permanent doesn't hurt us too much. We'll see what comes back to us. Hopefully we can grab a blue-green land later on. Ooh, not a single green spell here. and no single black spells either, which makes me lean more towards maybe grabbing some blue stuff. We'll take a textbook tabulator as a possible splash. Another root manipulation. Having more than one of these could actually be pretty strong. Comforting Counsel's been pretty good too. As long as we're gaining a lot of life, then we get to put +3/+3 on all of our creatures. There's also the 2-drop as the Mindful Biomancer that gains us some life. Tina's Guidance isn't too bad, but it doesn't seem like it's the best card. It'd be better if it only cost 2. We're going to take a Comforting Counsel here for now. We will definitely go for the Hungry Graphalon here. I'll take the blue-green land though and make sure we get that. Hungry Graphalon just turns into a big body with reach though, which is nice. Especially if we have a couple of those X cost spells that we can cast for really lots of mana. I think we'll take the Graphalon. For now, at least. Oracle's Restoration is going to give us a sorcery that lets us gain life. There's also a Deluge Virtuoso. Lets us tap a target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it, and whenever we cast an instant or sorcery, it gets +1/+1. I'm leaning more into the green though, because we haven't seen a lot of 2-drops in blue, which means we're really only going to splash that color, if anything. Here's a 2-drop we could cast in blue. We could also re-prepare our Jadzi with this land though, and it gives us a bonus with Emil. Who cares about how many lands we control that have different names? We'll take the Sky Coach Waypoint here. The Locust Spray is the best card we have in this pack, it looks like. Barrage Barrage or Knockout Maneuver. We never grabbed one earlier, so we'll take a Knockout Maneuver. Oh, we did grab one earlier. Well, that's fine. We have 2 of them now. Pest Mascot, definitely a good payoff for our life gain that we have. An Inkling Mascot that we probably aren't going to play here. And a blue basic land. Well, our rare is Dina's Guidance in this pack, which is pretty unfortunate. Not the strongest payoff of any kind that we can get. Could get a big spell with the Muse's Encouragement. Pestbrood Sloth has also been good. It gives us tokens that give us life gain and also has reach. It's a 4/4 with reach. I think we actually want the Pestbrood Sloth here. We don't have too many big bodies at the moment, so we have things that can become big, but there's also a Potioner's Trove for splashing our colors in. I'd actually be okay with taking that first to make sure we get one, and then go with one of these other spells when it comes back. Let's go for the Potioner's Trove for now. Foolish Fate is a great removal spell. Postmortem Professor lets us return him from the graveyard when he dies, and he also gains us life every time he attacks, so that's continual life gain there. Pretty strong. Another Grapple with Death as well. Lots of removal in this pack. Hopefully we get another removal spell out of all of this when it comes back. Wisdom of Ages. Returning all the instants and sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand is great, but only if you're pretty much only running instants and sorceries, so we'll skip that one this time. There is a black-green Titan's Grave, and I don't think anything else here is that strong. The only other thing would maybe be the Environmental Scientist that I might want. Rog Banemaker is not bad at all, but it doesn't generally win you games either, so we'll take this land because it makes our Emil quite a lot stronger, who we know we're going to end up running. Take it before somebody else can. A Deathcap Glade, that's another great land for our color pair, so we will take that. Nothing in here looks like it's really any kind of bomb rare that we need super badly, so Deathcap Glade. Efflorescence is a perfect payoff for our life gain with Infusion, but I don't think we're going to worry about that right now. There's a good chance we can grab one when one of those packs comes back. So the removal is back. We have Foolish Fate that cares about if we gained life. or Grapple with Death, which gains us life, and for about the same mana either way. I'm going to worry about this because we have other payoffs for if we've gained life. We want to just have something that can remove things, plus it gives us the option to remove an artifact instead of a creature, so. Oh, we get the blue-green land. Huge. I would like a Mindful Biomancer, but I've seen a few more of them, so we'll hope that we pick one up on the way back. The Deduce could be a good little sorcery to have in blue. It's also a Spectacle Summit as yet another land. Colossus of the Blood Age is a decent 6/6, but Landscape Painter would also be a decent 2-drop, but we're pretty heavy into the lands idea here, so Forum of Amity, another land that we could pick up. Another Pest Mascot, though. I think we'll jump into that now, so we can have 2 of them to have payoffs for all of our life gain. There's also Giant Growth, which is a perfect combat trick to keep stuff alive and keep pushing the enemy. We'll take that for now instead, actually. Dina's Guidance came back. Nobody really wants this card. I'd rather have the Efflorescence as well. Really good combat trick if we need it, so. There's our second Pest Mascot. Glad that we took the Giant Growth there instead. Another Oracle's Restoration for gaining life. We get a Mindful Biomancer even though we passed up a few. Stadium Tidal Mage will come in, and a Pull from the Grave as our last pick. As we're getting into building the deck here, just want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and if you want to see more Magic the Gathering content. Throw a like on this video if you're enjoying watching, and if you enjoy watching the games ahead. And comment down below and tell me if you think Witherbloom is the strongest color pair in this set, or if it's actually the Prismari / is it blue-red color pair. I think the blue-red's actually really good. I haven't seen it underperform much at all. I'm a little worried here because we don't have any big crazy spells. We're going to remove a knockout maneuver because we already said that's not the strongest removal if they just remove your creature in response. We don't really need one textbook tabulator, so we'll drop that one. The only reason we're going to keep this blue-red land is so that we can capitalize on having Emil be a little stronger. I don't need a Locust Spray. Not the greatest card. We don't need 2 Oracle Restorations. And we need to remove some 3-drops still. The Ulna Alley Shopkeep can go. I'm going to keep Pull from the Grave because bringing stuff back from our graveyard is kind of a staple of the black-green colors, so Thornfist Striker needs to stay. I think the knockout maneuver is actually going to go. We don't need those as removal spells because we have a lot of other options. I'm going to kill 1 Fall of the Lumerets. We do have a little bit of a heavy 3-drop stack here, but they're all pretty good. So I do want to keep them. I think that'll be it. I think we're going to go with it. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different differently named lands. So if we can get Emil on the board and create an 8/8 on the same turn, we'd have to have a lot of mana, but that could be a pretty big play. I can see this going pretty well. Let's get into some games. Here we are in our first game of this Witherbloom with a splash of blue deck. We have a couple of our big bombs here. Our Thornfist Striker is going to be really good if it survives, and Root Manipulation is going to be great if we get some more creatures. I'm a little worried about not having some card draw, but it's our first game. We'll keep this and see how it goes. We are on the play, so we get 1 less draw than our opponent, but we do get a Surveil land. We'll get our Infirmary Healer out right away, see what they want to do. They may want to remove this right off the bat, but we'll see. Paradox Gardens means we still have to wait for our Potioner's Trove, so we're just going to swing for the 2. The Potioner's Trove will give us up to 4 mana, and then we only need 1 more for the Root Manipulation. Charging Strike Knight's gonna pop into us. An Ambitious Augmenter. I'm gonna Potioner's Trove, but I'm gonna wait to play the Augmenter until next turn so that we can at least get a counter on it and make sure we get 2 bodies out of it. Swinging in for 2 should be fine because we're not gonna block with that anyways. He plays his Honor Bound Page, which we are going to want to blow up right away. Ambitious Augmenter. Grapple with Death to remove it. Could play a Stream of Life, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. Just going to swing in with the Infirmary Healer again. But we can gain 2 life with our Potioner's Trove, since we don't have anything to cast for that 1 mana. Next turn, we could put 2+1/+1 counters on a creature while swinging. So even if he destroys this and we create a 1/1, we'll still have a way to blow up his Charging Strife Knight if we want. He's gonna swing in, we're not gonna block. Owl Historian. He will definitely think about blocking with that, I think. Ooh, and we can play Jadzi right now too. If we could get 1 more land from Jadzi, we'd still be able to do our combat trick, so let's go for it. Increment puts another counter on that. We did not get a land, but we did get a Wild Hypothesis to surveil 2 and find 1. That being said though, I also could just Last Gasp his stuff if I want to, so I have to discard 2 cards. Oh, I forgot about that. That's tough. I think we'll get rid of the Efflorescence here. We want to keep the Thornfist Striker because our board's getting pretty wide, and it could actually do us some good there. We'll swing in, see what happens. We're gonna Last Gasp that Owl Historian just to remove it before it can do any more blocking. We can create 2 2/2s with Jadzi here, if we'd like. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, not quite. If we just gain, what would we have to gain? 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we have to gain 4 to have this even get a counter on it. Let's go like this. Let's get this out, and then next turn we get Root Manipulation if he doesn't remove it, and we're looking really good. I'll even make 1 more of these, just to just have another body on the board. Block his 6/6 if we have to. Because we'll be gaining life when everything attacks, this will give everything trample and +1/+0. And that should actually win us the game, especially if he swings with his Colossus this turn. I don't think he will, but... Oh my god, he actually did it. I'm gonna block it just in case he's got some kind of big boost for it. What is he gonna do now? Destroy everything? No. Pretty sure that wins us this game. The fact that he just did that. We can even gain some life first. I don't know if it matters though. We also could prepare our Jadzi and go even wider, but I don't think any of that's gonna matter. So we swing with a 5/5, 7/6, a 5/6, and a 6/5. I think he dies. If he doesn't die, he could potentially swing back and kill us, but after all that life gain that we just got, we should be all right. Or he'll just scoop here if we're lucky. He could kill the Thornfist. But if he kills the Thorn Fist, he takes 15 damage. Everything has menace. You gotta block with 2 on anything, dude. What's your plan? He's gonna discard and draw and try and get some kind of removal. That he did not. That'll be the game. We are 1-0 going into game 2. Here we are in game 2 with a perfect starting hand, if I do say so myself. We've got all 3 colors of mana, black and green and blue. We've got a Postmortem Professor to gain us life and the Pest Mascot to grow. There's some ways to bring them back from the graveyard, and a Jadsi if we want to draw some cards. We are looking beautiful here. The only thing that isn't so great is that we can't cast our Postmortem Professor on turn 2, but that's fine. Our opponent has the Lorehold color pair. I'm gonna put out the Postmortem Professor first and see if we can get him to burn some, burn a bit of removal on it. Don't think he will, but well, he will. There we go. That's perfect, because we can just bring it back over and over again. I'll play a swamp here. Drop in our Pest Mascot. And we have 1 green to give it +1/+1 and draw a card and gain 1 life, which means it becomes an even bigger body that's even harder to remove. And we draw another Pest Mascot. How great is that for us? He exiled it. We are fine with that. We're actually going to play the Comforting Council here. And I think Jadsi. Why not? I don't mind drawing some cards. If we have to put our Pest Mascot into the graveyard, which we do, we can just pull it from the grave to gain life again. Gaining life will get us closer to our big payoff for Comforting Council. He gets to replay his Will to the Heat on our Jadsi. That's pretty strong. Teacher's Pest, another perfect card that can return from our graveyard for free. I think I'm going to bring the Postmortem Professor back in. Let's see if we can burn more of his removal spells. The Startled Relic Sloth is not good for us. It's going to exile everything from our graveyard. We will block this, because we're going to need to remove a 4/4 on our next turn. Ooh. Let's swing in here. He'll lose 1, we gain 1, which helps us get this going. He doesn't want to fight that, apparently. He doesn't want to risk losing any of his creatures currently, so. We're looking a little rough here, though. We do need some way to get more creatures into our graveyard. But the gain life payoff will make these things grow bigger and bigger, so I think it'll be worth it. We do have something to return him. He's going to swing in for 7 on us. 8 on us. The fact that this guy doesn't block for us is a little unfortunate. We can swing, but then we have no blockers, which means we die. And he's going to put trample on the big guy here. We're totally cooked. There's nothing we can do to block this right now. That will be the game right there. That was a quick one. And he gives it trample as well. Nice. I'm gonna hit him with this one. Never didn't have it, my guy. He always had that game in the bag. We are 1-1 going into game 2. Game 3. Here we are in game 3, and we've got a pretty rough starting hand because we don't have any black mana for our creatures. I'm willing to keep it though. I trust in our deck and that we're going to find the black mana that we need. Or we're going to find a green creature that we can cast right now. Our opponent's currently in mono black. I'm gonna get Postmortem Professor out first, so we can start gaining some life on our next turn. He does not go for removal, which I think he's going to regret. We immediately get a 3/4. We will now be getting a 3/4 and a 4/5. He would have to block with both creatures if he wanted to kill this pest mascot, and I will cast Giant's Growth to keep myself alive, if he does so. I think he will. I think he's going to try and block with both of them. Or he's just going to do that. That's fine. I'm going to save the Giant Growth for now. We have plenty of other options of ways to grow our creatures, so. One more land and we could just create some really big creatures right away. We will cast our Mindful Biomancer to get some more life gain. And last gasp his Abigail that we do not want on the board. Swinging for 9. 9 unblockable damage. He will block the big body. That is probably the right move. Next turn we have a win if we draw a land. And possibly even if we don't with our Giant's Growth. He'll make 2 1/1s. He needs some sort of removal here to make it possible for him to survive. Even if he kills one or both of the pest mascots, we could swing in with the Mindful Biomancer, and hopefully he doesn't block it, and then we just growth it. Or he scoops. We're cool with that too. That was a quick game. We are 2-1 going into game 3. No, going into game 4. We're looking a little rough on our lands here. Here we are in game 4 with a hand that we are going to mulligan. I don't trust that we get the lands we need here. We need to have a black in our hand. There's a black. And we start with an augmenter. Not too bad. We'll keep 6. We'll get rid of the efflorescence. Cast our ambitious augmenter. Hopefully they don't destroy it on turn 2. We'll swing in here. Hopefully he blocks. He does not want to block that. He thinks it's sus that we're swinging in. He's going to destroy that creature. That's fine. Not a whole lot we could do about it anyways. And we got one for him on our next turn. Although for now, it's smarter that we bring out the pest mascot so that we can have the gain life trigger also go under our pest mascot. Let's have another creature he wants to play. No, he does not. Let's see if we can kill him with just the Giant's Growth. I don't think he will block. That's fine. We're gonna get rid of the Bogwater Limerette so that we can gain some life. He's gonna remove our pest mascot. That makes sense. Swings in for 2. We are not looking great here. Can't even use this to surveil because we don't have the monocolors we need. And he's got the pest ape. Okay. Or pest mascot. It is a pest ape, so. We need a body on the board now so that I can kill the pest mascot with the Giant's Growth. And that is not going to be one. Gonna hit him with the lands, am I right? A teacher's pest, that's not good. We are looking pretty rough, and is that another land? It is not. We're gonna put our green down. We're going to Stream of Life with these. Gain 3 life. I'm not going to worry about saving that for a payoff because we need to keep ourselves alive here. We can block up to 5 damage. Oh man. This guy's just got every removal spell he needs at all times. Glad that I gained the life right away though, because we would have been looking pretty rough if we didn't gain life off the bat there. That's gonna be a land, and that's gonna be GG. Another quick game. 2-2 going into game 5. Oh. Here we are in game 5 with another hand that we can't keep because our lands are just not correct. That's better. I will keep this even if we're looking a little rough, because we can at least get to the Potioner's Trove with these 3 lands. And then Hungry Graphalon on turn 4. Not the best way to get there, but we will get there. Hello. We need one more black land so we can surveil away any lands we don't need. I think we'll wait on the pest mascot until we have some kind of payoff for it, or some kind of trigger to get the payoff. We could ambitious augmenter here. I think he'll instantly blow it up though. We're in no rush. This is the type of color set here that tells me they're going to have removal or counters. So here we can do Pest Mascot and Ambitious Augmenter, so we'll do it. Put some pressure on him to do something. Both of our creatures can grow over time. We also have removal if they just try and put a creature on the board. Or they won't do anything. Okay, they put a creature on the board. I don't mind doing this. We lose a couple life, but we get to gain life, which is good for our Pest Mascot. We have an instant that'll save at least our... Actually, it'll save either one of them. Because he will increment when we cast the instant, or he will just gain 2 counters. We'll gain life in the middle of combat as well. Boost up our Pest Mascot. We are looking pretty good. That also gave this indestructible too, which is nice. He's gonna draw 3 cards and put a land card on the battlefield. I don't know if that was the move, my guy. Is this for non-creature spells? No, it's only instant and sorcery spells. That's fine. We'll get out the grapple on. We'll also do a Comforting Counsel. We'll swing in for 9. If he doesn't have something here, that might be the game. Even if he removes our Augmenter, we still end up having a 4/4 body. Do you scoop there, my guy? Do you have a bomb that can save you? I think he might. Good game. There we go. Lots of quick games in this draft so far. That'll be 3-2 going into game 6. Here we are in game 6. Our hand is a little rough looking, but for now we'll keep it because at least we can draw a card on turn 3 and hopefully get closer to having those lands we need. Play our tap land. Ooh, a Wild Hypothesis is nice too. Worst case, we can use any more lands that we get to make a big creature and Surveil 2 to find the lands we need. Emeritus of Conflict off the bat. That's an interesting draw. We will play the Potioner's Trove here. Go ahead and give this +1/+1 and draw a card and gain 1 life. Swing in because he will not block that since he's got a 2/2 on the board. He's going to swing back for 5, or he's not going to swing at all. That is an option too. I'm going to drop in our 3/3 here because it'll be a good blocker and it'll let us surveil. We are going to want that. I don't think we need the land right now. I'm not going to swing into a 3/3 that can just burn us. He's going to try and cast 3 spells this turn so that his Emeritus of Conflict becomes prepared. Discarding a lot of cards makes me a little concerned. I'm just going to go pretty wide here. we're again not going to attack because we don't have a way to do our combat trick that'll keep us alive. So why is our opponent wanting to discard so many cards currently? They must be looking for another land. If all he does is cast a creature here, we go for a big swing on this next turn. Okay, that makes sense. Luckily for us, that's just dead. It's not exiled, so we could return it to the battlefield later on. That, however, was not what we were looking for. I'm gonna swing in with everything and see what he does. I have two options of ways to make stuff bigger. This I can just return to the battlefield, so I'm not that worried about it dying. We don't have a way to cast this to defend any of our creatures now, but we're okay with that. I figured he was going to do that. At some point he was going to start returning things from his graveyard. That's why he's discarding so much. His creature becomes prepared. That board is looking pretty wide and scary now. And he's got another way to destroy something. Where is he getting all this mana? I'm not sure where he pulled that much mana from right there. We're going to destroy his Molten Core Maestro because that thing is a problem. Swing in, see what he blocks with. Go ahead and do this. Get some life. Destroy that creature. Now the postmortem is a 4/4, so we kind of want to keep it on the board if we can. Especially since we're pretty much top decking. This Spirit Mascot's becoming pretty scary pretty fast. But not as scary as the Molten Core Maestro was if he put Trample on a 5/5 with Menace as well. Jeez. Swinging in with the 10/10. Let's hope we get something we can cast here. That is an interesting draw. Those are two cards we kind of wish that we still had. We can only cast this for one, but we're going to do it. And then we can gain some life as well. Swing in with our 4/4. He loses one life. He will let the Emeritus go. That's an interesting choice. He can trample in here and kill us if we don't block with Jadzi. Ooh. Two cards leaving his graveyard. Actually just won him the game. That's going to be GG. I don't think there's anything we can do. We would have to block this. We have no choice. We have to double block it. I need a removal spell on this turn or else we're cooked. Yeah, we're dead anyways. That damage is crazy. GG's. That's going to be the games, you guys. What do you guys think? I thought that, you know, our deck was pretty well built, even with the weird little extra splash we did with Jadzi here. We didn't get any really big bombs other than this sorcery, which we got to cast, I think, once. And we ran into problems with the lands that we had, which we were trying to use a lot of lands for Emil. But I think we also only got Emil in our hand once and never got to put him on the battlefield. So there was a few misplays on my part, but I think we also ran into a lot of unlucky draws and unlucky, plays from our opponents. So that'll be it for this one. Comment down below and tell me what you think I did wrong or what I could have done better to get through some more of those games. Throw a like on this video if you enjoyed watching it. Subscribe to the channel for some more Magic the Gathering content. And we will see you on the next one. Later.